Good morning, guys. Good morning. Let's notify others that we are live. Let's notify others that we are live. Good morning, everyone. Let's notify others that we are live. All right. If you're with me, drop a one in the chat. You can hear me, drop a one in the chat. You can hear me, drop a one in the chat. Let's dive right into today's market analysis. If you're on this trade, the setup I shared yesterday on the Full Signal Telegram channel on BT's on XAUUSD. Okay, you should already be in a massive profit. You can see my screen right here. Okay, should already be in a massive profit right here. This is it. We took that setup yesterday and already in a massive profit. So I think let's wait a little bit for others to join us. So before we kick off with today's market analysis, if you can hear me, drop a one in the chat. Can you hear me, drop a one in the chat. All right, please kindly confirm if you can see my screen. I will confirm if you can. Can see my screen, drop a one in the chat. You can see my screen, drop a one in the chat. You see my screen, drop a one in the chat. If you're with me, drop a one in the chat. If you can see my screen, drop a one in the chat. All right, guys. Without wasting much of our time, we're going to dive into today's market analysis. You all know how we do it, right? Okay, guys. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to T Billion Forex Academy. If you're new here, my name is Timothy, aka T Billion, and of course, I'm a software engineer and a forex trader, as well as a crypto investor. This is our weekly live market analysis and trading session, where we break down the forex market step by step in a very practical and well-structured way. We hold this session every Monday and Wednesday by 9:00 a.m. West African time, and our primary focus is XAUUSD. Sorry about that, please. Okay, so as I was saying, we hold this session every Monday and Wednesday by 9:00 a.m. West African time. Our primary focus is XAUUSD, GBPUSD, and BTCUSD, followed by other forex pairs you request in the chat. The goal of this session is to shape and sharpen your understanding of the smart money concept, which includes order blocks, breaker blocks, um, inducements, and liquidity, price action, how you can properly read market structure, identify key order block zones, as well as breaker block zones and liquidity areas, of course, including inducements, and most importantly, how you can apply this concept effectively in real market conditions. So whether you're a newbie trader or an intermediate trader or a pro trader, stay with me as everything we do here for the electrical analysis process. Okay, so let's dive right into today's market analysis. We're going to start our analysis for today with what's it called, XAUUSD. Please, if you can hear me, drop a one in the chat. If you can hear me, drop a one in the chat. If you can hear me, drop a one in the chat. All right, thank you. So before we move on, let's quickly, look at the great tool which I built for TradeForge OS. And just in case you've not seen this, all right, you can go to tradeforgeos.com, tradeforgeos.com. Okay, so TradeForge OS is an execution tool. It's an execution OS for traders. Okay, it's an execution tool basically for MetaTrader 5. Okay, it allows you to define the execution rules, define your strategy, okay, define your trade management rule, right, without actually having to write code. Okay, it is that simple, right? So you can visually define your rules, you can visually define your strategy on TradeForge OS, and harm this strategy and let TradeForge OS monitor the market for you and execute your trade only when the conditions are met, right? Regardless of what strategy you trade, TradeForge OS can undo all of the strategies, any kind of strategy you trade in the forex market. TradeForge OS has the flexibility and the features, built into it to allow you to visually, build this what's it called strategy, right? Without having to write code. Okay, so it's in a simple term, it's an execution tool or an execution OS for MetaTrader 5, right? You can go to TradeForgeOS.com website, read more about TradeForge OS. Okay, there are lots of information on this website to help you understand how it works. You can even go to the demo video right here, which is available to channel, and you know what video to have an insight, an idea of how TradeForge OS work. Of course, we are currently in a pre-launch phase, okay, and you can be part of the early testers by simply clicking on this join early access. Then register your email right here, okay, and of course, an invitation will be sent to you when the beta testing phase opens. Invitation will be sent to you and a guide on how you can, test the TradeForge OS. All right, to stay in the loop of what is going on TradeForge OS, you can join the free Telegram chat community by clicking on this link right here, or subscribe to the YouTube channel. When you click on the YouTube channel, it will take you to the TradeForge OS YouTube official YouTube channel. You can subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on what's going on around TradeForge OS. Okay, there's a short video we uploaded recently on a test trade we took on TradeForge OS. You can click on it, feed your eyes with it to have kind of glimpse of what TradeForge OS is all about. Okay, so that is that on TradeForge OS. With that out of the way, so we're going to start today's market analysis with XAUUSD, which is one of our pair. I mean, this is the main pair at Civilian Forex Academy. Okay, this is what I trade personally. Okay, I love this pair and it's making a whole lot of money. Okay, and it makes sense to stick to one pair. Okay, of course, this is not a rule. Okay, it's based on your schedule, availability, and of course your personality. Basically, for me, if you're getting started, I would recommend you stick to a pair. Okay, most if you're going to scale, you can have most three pairs. Okay, currently I trade three pairs basically: XAUUSD, GBPUSD, and BTCUSD. Okay, of course, initially I was trading just only until I felt very comfortable and I had the time to pick two other pairs, and then I had GBPUSD and BTCUSD. Okay, but then this is my main pair. I left to trade most because it's very volatile. And it makes you quick money as well as, of course, you can lose quickly if you know how to trade it. All right, so as always, we begin our top-down analysis process from the daily time frame. Okay, where we establish our trend direction as well as our directional bias. Then we identify our key musical zones, which are basically our order block and breaker block zone. Then we identify our external liquidity, because as we know, price is delivered from liquidity to liquidity. And the closest liquidity to our point of interest, we basically wait for price you know, to sweep the liquidity. Like that. So let's start with identifying our trend. So obviously you can clearly see that BTC XAUUSD is bearish. And simply draw your trend line. You can see that XAUUSD is bearish, right? And we have this break of structure. We have this break of structure to the upside. Okay, that's our POS. And price, tapped into this order block zone that led to this break of structure right here. There's a bullish order block zone on the daily time frame. Okay. All right. So we got this break of structure to the downside right here. We have this POS. And got another break of structure right here to the downside. Okay. Like this right here. Maybe you can see my screen. Not let me zoom out. Okay, and we've got a broken structure right here. Although it was rejected, of course, since it's on the higher time frame, I was still going to mark it as a valid broken structure to the downside. Right. Okay. Next, we have this order block zone right here. This bearish order block zone right here, and that is where price tapped into and started the bearish, order flow. So here is our supply. All right. Oh, sorry. I marked out our excellent liquidity. So these are sell side liquidity. This is this is our buy side liquidity. Um, sorry, a minute, please. Close this. Close this. Close this one. All right. Let's close this. All right, guys. So yeah, so let's continue. So we have this. This is our external liquidity, our buy side liquidity, and this is our sell side liquidity, right? So of course, we have this, which is also liquidity, but then I want to pay more attention to the closest to the current price action, okay? And that's why I'm going to mark this out, and probably we can just ignore this for now. All right, so now we have this, right? So what we want to do is let's drill down to the 4H time frame and identify other zones, right? Okay. So let's give us this currently. So we expect price to take out the system liquidity. So this bearish movement should continue until this low is taken out. Let's look at the 4H time frame to identify other potential zone. So the 1H, right? 4H, let's say we have a 4H time frame. So price already tapped into this zone right here. Excuse me. And started pushing down. Okay. And okay. So we have this break of structure to the downside in the 4H time frame, like this. And the price has already tapped into this zone right here. Okay. All right. Price has tapped into this zone. Okay. And of course, it's pushing down. We would expect it to keep pushing until this low is taken out. Okay. Now let's drill down to the 30-minute time frame. I think this is the only valid zone which price has tapped into it. I can identify on the 4H. Of course, we have this zone here as well. Okay. But then looking at price already tapped into this and it's currently sliding to the downside. Let's mark this out. Okay, just in case price reverses to the upside, then we want to look at the potential entry at this zone. But again, price might potentially sweep liquidity above this high before going down to sweep the buy side, the sell side liquidity. Okay, so again, don't forget this is our origin. This is where price originated from the whole bearish movement to the downside. This is where it originated from at the premium zone, right? Okay, so let's drill down to the 30-minute time frame, which is our entry time frame. Okay, to analyze the price action right from this zone where the whole bearish movement originated from to where price is currently, okay, in anticipation that it takes out this secure, this low right here. So it's simple, right? If you look at the structure, we got this, so it's the last break of structure to the upside. Of course, it can be closed right above it with full body, right? And we got this market structure. It's a market structure shift. And clearly, this is our engagement. This is our engagement. This is our engagement IDM. And price tapped into the order block right here. Okay. Yeah, price tapped into this order block right here. And ever since price has been selling to the downside. Okay. Now let's look at the structure. All of this is played out. And so we got this break of structure to the downside. Come on. Let's don't get worried. We got this break of structure to the downside. And already because the internal structure has shifted bearish here. Okay, so basically you want to pay attention to only sell opportunities, right? And so this low is taken out, right? Okay, so market is still selling, and when it breaks below this low, okay, we anticipated an entry at this zone, but of course, due to the news, this zone was invalidated, and the nearest to our inducement, of course, was this. So, well, guys, let me reload this page. Mouse is messing up. All right, so okay, so we anticipated a reversal at this zone, but of course, due to the news yesterday, I think the CPI news or something, the price blew past this zone and invalidated the zone. And the nearest point of entry for us was this right here. Okay, this zone right here. Okay, and as you can see, price tapped into this zone and started selling. So I think we took this entry a little bit late and sold off of this level, and the SL was a little bit weak right above this high. Then we're targeting this low from TP. Right, it was about a 1:3 rate to reward ratio. Okay, I think entry was somewhere around here, and the TP, you know, is here. As earlier shown, this is the setup. This is a trade. We are currently in profits. Okay, you can see my screen. I don't know if you can see my charts. You can see this. So this is the trade. Okay, and we're currently in profits. Okay, so that is where we took the setup at this zone right here. Monthly price pushed into this zone, and of course, if the reversal had not happened here, this is where we're expecting the reversal right here. Okay, and if this for any reason gets invalidated, then we know, want to be patient enough for other price actions to be formed. Okay, so this is it. So we're already in this trade, and what I will do right now is there is obviously no valid entry for us right here. Okay, because this of course is the entry, and price has already left the entry. So what we can do here is just to keep watching and wait for price to break this structure. If price breaks this structure, then I would look for a potential or wait for a reversal right into an order block zone, a broker block zone, right? Then take a sell. Okay, but for now, I'm not doing nothing. I'm only holding the existing open position. And this, of course, is a potential buy, but again, it will last as there's a high probability that it's going to be invalidated because the overall trend is bearish. So unless you're scalping, and if you're scalping, you have to have entered, take your what's it called? Take your trade at this zone, then exit, you know, around probably few pips away from the entry. That's for scalpers. Take it, but I wouldn't advise you take it by just yet. Okay, this is what price is meant to be delivered to. Okay, so basically, you would expect something like this. You know, expect a reaction here. Then this is the final destination for prices unless this bearish move which originated from this what's it called, this higher time frame or the block zone, is concerned. So that is it. We keep holding this trade until our full TP is hit. If we want to be very what's it called, ambitious, we can extend our TP to this. And most likely I have 4 open positions, right? I might close 3 positions in this zone, then leave the remaining 1 position to run up until sell-side liquidity is taken out, right? Okay, so this is it on BTC on XAUUSD. Okay, so let's look at BTC USD. Let's look at BTC USD. So let me state this clearly. This becomes our inducements. This was our first inducements, which failed, of course. This zone did not hold. This automatically becomes our second inducement, and here comes our entry. All right, so that is it. Okay, so I'll leave it as it is. We keep monitoring this and look out for a new break of structure to the downside and potential entry. But for now, no entry on XAUUSD. Okay, and let's look at BTC USD real quick. On BTC USD, what do we have? BTC USD. So obviously, BTC USD is bearish. BTC USD is bearish. All right, by simply drawing a trend line, we can already tell that BTC USD is bearish. Okay, and we got this break of structure to the downside, this right here. We got this break of structure to the downside, US. Okay, and we got another break of structure right here, US, and there is another break of structure right here. Let's zoom this in. There's another break of structure right here. Okay, I'm going to mark that out, even though it's a rejection, because it's on the daily time frame. So we got this break of structure right here. All right, so let's look at the origin of this bearish movement to the downside. Okay, obviously it originated from this breakup block zone right here. All right, that's where the move originated from. That's a supply breakup block zone. Let's extend it to the future. Okay. All right. So let's drill down to let's drill down to the let's drill down to the 4H time frame to identify other zones. But before that, let's mark out our external liquidity, which is quite important. So we have this buy side liquidity and we have this sell side liquidity. Okay, so we're dealing within this range, right? We expect price to push to the upside and pick this liquidity, or it push to the downside and sweep this liquidity right below this low. Of course, because the market is overall bearish, we'd expect price to take out this low. But again, you can see price has already tapped into this breaker block zone, one a breaker block zone, and you know, what's it called? And was delivered to this to this previous what's it called sell side liquidity. So basically, this zone has been mitigated. Okay, so the probability of it holding again has actually dropped, right? Probability of it holding again has actually dropped because it's already mitigated and price may just break past through it and sweep this liquidity. Then, if that is the case, this is where we'll be looking out for a potential, reversal because overall the market is still bearish. Okay, the market will remain bearish not until you know this high is taken out, right? Once we have a full body close, we retest of this zone right here. That is where we can say the market has shifted bullish based on the external structure. But whatever you're getting right here are basically internal structural, internal structures basically. Okay. So this is where I'm anticipating reversal, which of course the probability of it holding this time around is low because it has already been mitigated previously. And then this is where we'll be expecting the potential, reversal. Right, so let's do that before each time frame and try to mark out other zones. Um, okay, what do we do? Okay, mm, okay. Um, we'll tap into this, then we expect this to happen. So let's go down to the 30-minute time frame and look at the price action in the 30-minute time frame. Okay, as earlier mentioned, price already tapped into this zone, and of course, it has been delivered to the previous sell-side liquidity. Let's just read the structure and see what is happening or what would likely happen on this what's it called at this zone. Okay, so this is it. Let's look at this structure and So this was last break of structure to the upside. So we got this POS right here. Got this break of structure to the upside. And one second, guys. 1 second. All right, guys. Sorry about that. There was a power outage. All right. Okay. So yeah, we got this break of structure to the downside, and this becomes our market structure shift right here. MS. And this is my inducement. This is my inducement. And of course, price tapped into this other block right here. This is it. Yeah, right here. Yep. So you can see price tapped into the other block and started selling to the downside. Okay, so let's look at the structure. And again, this has already played out and price has already been delivered to this what's it called, to the previous sell side liquidity and triggered this break of structure to the downside. Okay, I just wanted to know if there's any other zones right here that is unmitigated. Okay, because I can see price pushed all the way up to this price level. Okay, and if you look at this, there is a zone right here. Let me zoom in again. I'll zoom out. All right, so this is it. There is a pending or there's an unmitigated order block zone right here. Okay, so this is a potential, zone for price to tap into in order to continue the bearish move to the downside. Okay, I would expect something like this. So price might, keep pushing until it tapped into this extreme order block zone right there. Okay, let me push this to the right so it doesn't. This will be tapped into. Let's do that like this. Okay, so now for this, let's also look to the right and understand what price has done previously. Okay, so we got a market structure shift right here, and and we got this break of structure. Got this burst right here, and we got this structure break. So this, okay, and this is our inducement. This is our inducement. This is our inducement. This is our inducement. Great. Okay. So these are inducement, IDM, and then let's look at the zone nearest to the inducement. That is unmitigated. And here we go. We got this order block right here. Okay. Got this order block right here. Perfect. So again, let me push this box today. Yes, so this was where price mitigated that zone. So let me push it right there. And so we have a clearer view of what price is right now and what it's likely to do. All right, so this is it. Perfect. Great, this is it. So this is where we would most likely want to wait for price for a potential sell. So we're waiting for price at this zone or this zone to potentially sell BTC. Okay. Don't sell BTC just yet. Those are the two unmitigated zones within this internal structure, okay, that we could likely sell BTC, okay, or that BTC could likely reverse out. Okay, so this is it. Do not sell BTC just yet. So we expect price to sweep this liquidity above this inducement, tap into this, then sell to the downside. We can look at this price level for TP. Okay, or expect the same at this zone right here. So for now, I'm not doing anything on BTC. I'll wait patiently for this to happen. Okay. However, if I got a structural break, an internal structural break right here, okay. For this structure, if you look at this, this was the last break of structure to the upside, right? That was the last break of structure to the upside. Let me use this. And the value structural shift will be right here, okay, MS. So of course, not until we have that structural shift, I would wait for this to happen before I sell BTC, okay. Wait for this to happen before I sell BTC. But for now, let's just be patient. Let's be patient. Let's be patient. Let's be patient. These are the two zones we're looking for potential sell on BTC. Right, based on the 30 minutes time frame structure. Okay. All right, so this is it. I'm going to share this on the Free Signal Telegram channel. Okay. We keep monitoring the zones for potential sell opportunity. All right, so that is it on BTC USD. Let's quickly look at GBP USD before we call it a day. Okay. Sorry, if you're still with me, drop a one in the chat. If you're still with me, drop a one in the chat. Drop a one in the chat if you're with me. Drop a one in the chat if you're with me. Drop a one in the chat if you're with me. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Drop a one in the chat if you're with me. Good, good, good. Okay, so let's dissect GBPUSD and we call it a day. Again, as always, we'll be doing a top-down analysis process on daily time frame. And looking at GBPUSD, you can already tell that GBPUSD, although overall the market is in a range, okay, the market is ranging. Obviously, you can see market is ranging. It's ranging. It's obvious. The market is ranging. Okay, and in a ranging market like this, is most likely just stay out and wait for the breakouts. Okay, and again, I'm seeing a potential um sell. Okay, looking at the structure, BTC GBPUSD is bearish. From this structure right here, it's bearish. Okay, then we have um, we have this break of structure to the downside right here. Break of structure to the downside. We have this POS. With this POS. We also have this break of structure right here. And of course, as always, we have our sell side liquidity right here. And we have our buy side liquidity at this zone right here. All right, so we are looking for a potential sell opportunity on GBPUSD. We've marked out these zones, and if you look at this, price is currently reacting at this what's it called, at this other block zone right here. Okay, it's currently reacting at this other block zone right here. Okay, and we have this as well. All right, perfect. So let's drill down to the 4H time frame to identify other potential zones. Excuse me. Okay. All right, let's drill down to the 30-minute time frame or entry time frame to see what price is doing at this zone to read the price action. To read the price action. .30 minutes time frame. So we have this. We have this. Okay, so this is the last break of structure to the upside. There's the last break of structure to the upside, the POS. So right. So this becomes our market structure shift. This becomes our market structure shift, MS. Excuse me. And obviously this is our inducement. This is our inducement, IDM. Okay. And of course, this was invalidated. This was free. And price tapped into the extreme order block zone right here. Where's it? Price tapped into the extreme order block zone right here and started, selling. Started selling to the downside. Okay. Now, what I would wait for is we can't take this trade just yet. It will be too late to join the sell. Okay, it's quite too late to join the sell because our SL will be very large. Our SL will be somewhere around here. It's really, that's a very huge SL. I wouldn't recommend that. Okay, then our TP would be somewhere around. Better still, if you want to reach this entry, you can take this entry and set your SL around here. But I would not recommend selling GBPUSD. I would not recommend shorting just GBPUSD at this point. I'd rather wait for new structures to be broken. Okay. Then wait for a pullback to a premium zone, then take my entry. But if you want to take this risk, you can short GBPUSD. Then you'll be looking at this for your TP. That's a 2.4 is to 2.43 risk to reward ratio. Okay. But again, I'm not going to take this. It's a very low probability setup. It's a very low probability setup. I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to take it. So we'll keep monitoring BTC and GBPUSD. Okay, if I get more structural break to the downside, okay, then I'll wait for another structural break, then a pullback and take my entry right here and probably target this as my take profit. Okay. If you want to be very more conservative, this is where I would wait for. This is where I'm going to wait for GBPUSD. I'll wait for it to take out this low, something like this. When it does, then I'll wait for a pullback to probably another block or a breaker block. Then I'll short. I'll short. Okay, so that is it. That is it. I would wait for this. 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 I'm not entering on BTC or on GBPUSD just yet. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. So please, if you want to take this risk, you can immediately short GBPUSD, then set your SL slightly above this swing level, then ride it all the way to this price level for your TP. Okay, but again, I'm waiting for this, right? And this break of structure, then a pullback, then boom, take my entry. All right, guys, I think that will be it for today. Okay, and please, if you have if this session has added value to you, please don't forget to like the stream, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never get to miss our live what's it called, market analysis. Okay, so we'll be back again on Monday at 9:00 a.m. West African time. I'm going to monitor all the analysis we've done today. I'll monitor them as soon as they play out. I'm going to drop the signal on the free signal Telegram channel. So if you're not active yet on the free signal Telegram channel, make sure you're active on it. And I'm dropping signals as soon as I found one on the chat. Okay, so guys, until Monday, 9:00 a.m., guys, trade smart and protect your capital. I'll see you in the next session. Okay, peace.